Welcome back to another episode of the Zero Excuses Podcast, Wheelbook Wednesday edition. Today I'm going to be covering with you guys the last of the three tools that I spoke about almost 4 weeks ago now, and that is embracing discomfort. Before I jump into that topic, I want to remind you guys of a few resources that I have available to you. First is our closed Facebook group. You could join the 325 people now, having some amazing conversations about how they're busting through their excuses to get exactly what they want out of their lives. So you can head on over to facebook.com/groups/0excuses, and that's excuses spelled without the E, XCUSES. Second of all, I want to remind you guys to head on over to iTunes, and if you're finding value out of this podcast, go ahead and subscribe and rate this so that we can reach additional audience members and spread the word about living in a zero excuses lifestyle. And lastly, if you guys have any questions, or if you want to reach me directly, you can send me a quick email at kenyon.zitska@gmail.com. I read each and every email that you guys have been sending me, and I appreciate the emails that you've sent me up to this point. And I'm not able to respond to each and every one of them, but I definitely try to read every single one of them, and I appreciate all of them. So let's jump right into the conversation I want to have with you guys today about embracing discomfort. I know this is almost a cliche saying these days about embracing the suck, embracing discomfort, but from what I've observed, I see a lot of people shying away from things when there's any sort of effort that people have to put forth to achieving their goals, achieving their dreams. So I think it's worth having, continuing this discussion, especially in a forum like on a podcast or in a Facebook group. So this is kind of a very, like the past couple of episodes, I've been able to give you guys some very tangible strategies and tips and tricks to implement the ideas that I speak about. But today, this is a very, at least to me, is a very mental shift that we have to make in our own minds about embracing discomfort. I think there's a lot of ideas out in society these days that things should be perfect, that life should be stress-free, life should be effortless, and I think that couldn't be further from the truth. So I think one of the biggest shifts in my mind that I've made in the recent years is that if things are getting uncomfortable, I'm starting to reach a sweet spot where I'm learning about myself, I'm learning about new things, and I'm growing as a person. So I suppose the first idea that I want you guys to understand from my perspective is that if you sense that things are getting uncomfortable, you're starting to feel anxiety, that it's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing to become anxious about something. Another benefit that I found with embracing discomfort and the idea that life should have problems, life should be full of failures, is that I am less prone to procrastination. So what I mean by that is if we embrace discomfort, it allows us to move at a much faster pace. It allows us to grow exponentially, I would argue. So, for example, if we know and accept that going to the gym is going to be uncomfortable, especially I think back a couple years ago when I was roughly 40 pounds heavier, I think about how anxious I got, going to the gym full of, people who are in relatively good shape. But if I didn't embrace that discomfort, knowing that it was going to be tough to walk in the door, then it was going to be tough to start picking up the weights and start moving and start growing. If I allowed that anxiety to persist within myself, and I would never get anywhere. So having the mindset of life should be uncomfortable. Life should be full of these uncomfortable opportunities for growth. I think is going to be a game changer for you guys. So again, this isn't a very concrete thing where I can give you step 1, 2, 3. This just has to be a very conscious decision that you guys have to make within your own minds, that I'm gonna run towards the gunfire. I'm gonna put myself through the fire to grow. So that's where I'm gonna leave this at today. Something short, something sweet here. So I hope you guys have a kick-ass week. Here in Charleston, I'm embracing some discomfort right now, getting ready for Hurricane Irma to possibly show her face in my area. So I'm looking at that as an opportunity to exercise my emergency preparedness skills and take care of my family and make sure they're good and safe. And if you're listening today in one of those areas that's going to be affected or has been affected by Hurricane Harvey, I'm thinking about you guys and hope everything turns out okay. All right, guys, have a kick-ass week, and I will talk with you again soon.